I'm making one more video this evening. I know I'm taxing you, but you have the whole week to watch these videos. I'll give you the names of some of the people that were on the biology field trip with me in Kendal. It's very important. Now, I know the Church of England has communities of churches and so on, and I know Jacqueline Stowe would understand this, and dioceses and so on, and parishes. Now, in the Cumbria, where Whitehaven is, and Kendal, you have what are called the Black Comb churches. It's a sort of a fraternity of Church of England churches in the county, the Black Comb churches. I've read Chaucer and John Bunyan and so on. I mean, I've done a lot of reading, and it's very important what I have read. But the Bible really is the only book. But remember, it was written in Hebrew, which is not like Russian. It's more complex. It's almost unintelligible. And Aramaic is, I don't know which books are written in Aramaic. It may not have ever been written in Aramaic, but there may be some parts in Aramaic. And they're probably translations because the original scripts I saw, they were translated by hand. And the versions that come down to us are translations and Greek. And the early books from as far back as 200 were translated, or 100 were translated into Amharic, and Tigrayan, Eritrean, North African languages, not Arabic, but early North African languages. There were translations in Egypt, which were in Greek, and the very early Latin translations. And so the book is not really given in this way. Now, Muhammad said that the angel Gabriel gave him a whole copy of the Quran. Now, that means nothing, but in the end, it's a euphemism for the Bible. If you open a Bible, then God has given you a scroll. That's all. And then God reads it to you if you're a Christian. And my father said only you will know if you're a Christian. And he was correct. Those boys' names were Adam. Adam. That's important. He was a big white man with blonde hair. And I think he became a policeman. Who else was there? Bailey, Paul Bailey, the old Bailey, very important. Bailey's an old English name, and he was a snob, but he didn't have his father's intelligence. His father was head of history and had gone to Cambridge. Who else was there? Woodruff. His father was commander of the Merseyside Police in Southport. He became a policeman. And Woodruff and Bowman. Bowman is another name of slavery because the Bowman bows were made from yew trees, which came from Belgium and England. And Belgium and English bowmen slaughtered 1 million people in 2,000,003 soldiers. They just slaughtered soldiers. Bows, they were like machine guns. And another boy, I think Bowman, Woodruff means nigger in the woodpile, Woodruff. And Bowman means Satan. And Old Bailey was a form of like Cardiff Castle. It's to do with defences, but that's Satan as well. So people had to attack them, and what they did to put tar on them, nails, shit, anything, rocks, knives, axes. And another name, Adam. I mean, what was his name? Adam Hughes, I think he was called. And he was just a very white person, but not posh. But in this school spoke posh, and lived in a posh neighborhood, but not posh somehow. I don't know. And I can't remember who else. Gordonson was there, where the school Prince Charles went to, but he left. But that school was there for the week. And a girls' school, a private girls' school from somewhere. And you see, all these people are Satan because they always want to know why you're there. But I know so many black people over the years that have been to these schools that in the end, all of them are the same. Lots of them work in good things, but they always earn less money. And people think they're sexually frustrated. But God only knows if they are or if they care. And most of them now are married with children. Some are gay. Some have dropped out. Some have made a fortune. Not a real fortune. Some have gone back to their countries. And almost nobody left and went to America because nobody really believes in themselves in that way. But America is more racist and less racist at the same time. It's more racist, but it has less knowledge of the occult, the real occult, Satanism. Now, you can't think that Russia's not racist, but the occult's different because they were communists. But no one would go to Russia today. God intends to destroy the entire white race, but not enough to give the Easterners control, because they're more racist. And the Turks are the most racist people on earth, the Arabs, and then the Indians, and so on. So God intends to maintain civilization and the world and generations of black people. And Jacob, on behalf of God, has told me 3 times, 10,000 years. That's not for the work of God to be done, but that's it. I don't know if black people will go on, but at the end of 10,000 years, that's the end. It says a world without end, but 10,000 years is enough. The world is so evil, and none of this will ever change. All that can change is power, and that's in the hands of the Holy Ghost, you see. And power will change, it will go to black people. It seems impossible, but you have to read the works of the Bible and understand God's Spirit. I mean, a few people with faith will change the world. And you might say it's impossible, but read the book of Esther, or Charles of Gideon, or Samson, or Moses, or Noah. You see, faith is what it takes. Paul, Jesus, John the Baptist, Revelation, the Gospel writers, the book of Acts, faith alone, mother. That's what God is asking David and Goliath, and Solomon. And the world hasn't changed. I could be Solomon, or David, or Gideon, or Samson, or Samuel. I could be Paul, or Peter, or Matthew, Mark, Luke, or John the Baptist, or Jesus, or John the Divine. I could be Jonah, or Job, or Hosea, or Joshua, or Caleb, or Moses, or Aaron. I mean, I'm telling you that I could be Abel, or Seth, or Adam. I could be Jehovah. You see, there's nothing mysterious about any of this. You're either a Christian or you're not. And no white person is alienated with the Bible says atheism is impossible. Everybody knows the truth but denies it themselves. Nehemiah 4 said that white people seek to die, but they want everybody to die. That's their last vengeance. And that's why they're doing this, because someone worked all this out before and it was written down, and then damned if they let black people survive or go to heaven. And that's the basic nature of racism. It's not about people, it's about God and Satan. The book of Job, the first chapter of the book of Job, where Satan says, look, and that's what's going on. If you can imagine that Job is black and the 3 people tormenting him are white, and Satan is helping those people and hates Job, and God alone knows that Job will go to heaven. That explains everything about black and white and race that has ever happened and is happening on earth.